Today we will do Act 1, Scene 2 from line 5 to line 80. This is one of the longest scenes in the entire play, and it is important for both 20 marks question and for reference to the context which comes for 12 marks. So this scene introduces us to several characters, several important characters, but Prospero and Miranda, they are the focus of this scene. Alright, so it also allows us to peep into or understand the life of Prospero and Miranda, their struggle, their fortitude, their mental and their physical ability to bear the struggle, to bear the suffering. It also shows basic human nature of resilience. That means to be able to come back to the original position, after being bent. This is what the scene tells us. It reveals to us their past life, and it tells us why are they on this uninhabited island. All right. So here we go. The scene takes place on the seashore on an uninhabited island just before Prospero's cave, and the audience sees that Miranda and Miranda and Prospero, they are witnessing the shipwreck. There is a storm at sea, and then there is a ship, which we already know from Act 1, Scene 1, the ship, and then there are other passengers there, and then they are all struggling for survival. So Miranda, Miranda's speech in this scene tells us about her character sketch, tells us about her nature. She's very innocent. She is naive, but at the same time very soft-hearted, sympathetic, and empathetic. She's untouched by the negative sides of human world. She's completely untouched by the mistakes of human world. That is why her heart bleeds out when she sees the passengers, or when she hears the passengers crying and howling in pain. Alright, so if by your art, my dearest father, you have put the wild waters in this roar, allay them means subdue them, to stop them. Miranda is fully aware of her father's magical power, so she asks her father if he was responsible for the furious storm at sea. She tells him that, Father, if by your magical art, if you have caused the turbulent water and the storm at sea, then please stop them, please subside them. The sky, it seems, would pour down stinging pitch, but that the sky mounting to the welkin sheath dashes the fire out. Now, the sky looks very pitch dark. She says the sky above looks very stinking pitch, means it's very pitch dark. This has been compared to a tar. Now, what is a tar? A tar is nothing, but it is a flammable, very thick, dark, flammable substance which is used for in road construction. It is used to cover or protect timber. And it is generally used when it is hot and boiling. So the sky has been compared to a tar, which is to the point of reference, or the point of comparison is to show that it is pitch dark. It's so dark, and it looks as if it is boiling, it is raging because of anger. So, and above we have the sky, like tar, and below on earth we have the sea, which is also brewing up. It is also mounting, it is also rising very high, and it looks like the sea and the sky are going to have a conflict. So we know that the fire and water cannot coexist. So what she says is that the sea that is brewing up looks like, it's preparing itself to fight against the dark clouds, to fight against the dark pitch boiling sky. And as if it is there just to extinguish the fire of the sky. Alright, so overall what it means is, what the meaning is, it's like it is very threatening. The atmosphere looks very threatening. The sea is also raging, and then the sky is also it also looks very, it is also very scary. Anytime it can pour. not rain, but it can pour hot boiling tar, okay, hot boiling liquid. And then what is there to douse it, or what is there to put out the fire? It is the, again below also there is a roaring sea. Welkin's cheek refers to the cloudy face of the sky. Okay, that means the sky is cast, or it is covered by the dark clouds. So mounting means to rise high. Dashes the fire out means to extinguish or put out the fire. The fire here refers to the dark sky, which looks very threatening, which seems to be boiling. Oh, have I suffered, very important. Oh, have I suffered with those I saw. That means Miranda's heart suffers, okay, along with those people whom she sees suffering in distress. This tells us Miranda's empathetic nature. It tells us that she's feeling sympathy, okay? She's in sympathy with those people who are suffering or who are struggling for life. And now what does she see? She sees a brave vessel who had no doubt some noble creature in her, dashed all to pieces. Like she has a very dreadful sight, and what she sees is a brave vessel which no doubt may be carrying some noble passengers or noble creatures. Now she sees them breaking or crashing into pieces. Now it seems to her that they are perishing, okay, along with the ship. So, oh, the cry did knock against my heart, against my very heart. The cries of these passengers, the cries of these victims, what happens? It pierces her heart, okay? It makes her heart bleed, and it arouses the deepest sympathy out of her. Poor souls, they perished. Now, it appears to Miranda that as if the ship is perished and then the passengers have also died. It just appears, okay? It is not the truth. Had I been any god of power, I would have sunk the sea within the earth, or ere it should, the good ship, so have swallowed and the frotting souls within her. Or ere means before, frotting means the passengers of the ship. Now she wishes that she had some divine power, okay? She wishes that she had some supernatural powers. If she had one, then she says that she would not allow the storm, or she would not allow the sea to swallow, to perish, okay? Or to take away the ship and the passengers that she is carrying. She here refers to the ship. Okay, she would not have allowed. Instead, she would have buried the storm and the sea into the depth of the earth. Okay, at the bottomless depth of the earth. Prospero, be collected. No more amazement. Tell your piteous heart there is no harm done. Now, Prospero asks her daughter not to be affected. Okay, he asks her daughter to calm and to be collected, to calm down. And then he says, no more amazement. No more amazement means do not be bewildered. Okay, do not be confused and shocked. Please be collected. Tell your piteous heart there is no harm done. That means Prospero has seen to it that there is no harm that has been done to any of the passengers or the ship. Tell your piteous heart refers to the pitiful heart. It refers to Miranda's heart. Miranda's heart is full of pity. Okay? It's full of sympathy. Okay? Her heart bleeds out to those who are suffering. Okay? I mean, with those who are suffering. So, Miranda, oh, woe the day. Oh, what a sorrowful day. What a bad day. What an unfortunate day. Okay? So, no harm. I have done nothing but in care of thee. He comforts Miranda by saying that there has been no harm that has been done to anybody. Okay? Whatever I am doing is for your own good, is for your own sake. This shows Prospero as a very loving father. It shows Prospero as a very caring, as a responsible father, because what he says that like whatever he is doing is only for her own good, is only for his daughter's own good. So from this we come to know that the tempest that was there, the storm that was there in the previous act is also, in the previous scene, is created by none other than Prospero. Okay, so who art ignorant of what thou art, not knowing of whence I am, nor that I am more better than Prospero, master of the full poor cell, and thine no greater father. Now Prospero regrets the fact that Miranda does not know about her past history. She says that, Miranda, you do not know about your own identity. You do not know that I am more than Prospero. I am more than just your father, okay, or the lord of this wicked, or the lord or the master of this wretched cell. I am more than that, Miranda, and then you do not know anything of that, or anything about our past life. You are completely ignorant of it. Okay, now, to which he says, Miranda, moved now, did never meddle with my thoughts. Meddle means never occurred to me. It never occurred to me. But she means to say that, oh, all these thoughts never occurred to me. Or I never tried to interfere with all this. Okay, Prospero, it's time. I should inform thee further now, but it is the time is right for you to understand about who you are, who I am, and who your father is. Okay, it's the best time. Lend thy hand and pluck my magic garment from me. Now, we have seen Prospero as a magician. Throughout the play, he appears as a magician. But while talking to his daughter, he wants to be a father and not a magician. He wants to be a normal human being made of flesh and blood. Okay, that is why he asks the daughter to help him in discarding or in opening the magical robe. Okay. So lie there, my art. That means his Prospero's magic lies in his robe, okay, and it lies in his staff and his books, okay. So lie there, my art suggests Prospero's ability to construct illusion. Remember that Prospero is a powerful magician. So wipe thou thine eyes, have comfort, the direful spectacle of the wreck which touched the very virtue of compassion in thee. Now, wipe thine thou out. This is also important. It is important for reference to the context. Prospero sees that her daughter is crying. Her daughter is full of tears, and says that, please wipe your tears and comfort yourself. Okay, you are. I know that the sight that you have witnessed has touched you. It has moved you. Okay, it has aroused the deepest sympathy in you. Okay, but please calm yourself. Please be composed. Okay. Now, direful spectacle refers to the dreadful sight. That is the sight of that she has just witnessed. The sight of the shipwreck. Okay, the supposed shipwreck, which touched the very virtue of compassion, means which aroused the deepest feeling, feeling of sympathy from you, within you. In thee I have with such provision in mine art, so safely ordered that there is no soul, no, not much perdition. Perdition refers to loss, as an hair betted to any creature in the vessel, which thou heardest cry, which thou sawest sit down. He says that, the dreadful sight which has affected you, which has moved and touched you, okay, is created by me, the tempest, the storm is created by my magical power, by my magical art. You think that these people have been perished, okay? You think that, Miranda, you think that it appears to you, or you think that these, the passengers are drowned, but I am responsible for this tempest. I am responsible for the raging sea and these passengers. I have made sure that none of them are damaged, none of them are affected, not even the ship, okay? Not just the ship, but also, nobody is affected. I have seen to it that not even a breath of their hair is lost, okay? That means this shows Prospero's confidence in his magical power. It shows that he can create magic without affecting anybody. All right. So he says that do not be, do not feel sad, okay, because whatever because whatever I'm doing, I'm fully responsible for it, and I have seen that nobody, not even a single soul, would be affected. All right. So, and then because Prospero knows that his daughter has a very tender heart, okay, and then he sees her crying, and then she cannot bear the suffering of anybody, because she starts relating with her own suffering, and then that too, it is not fake, she just does it in a very earnest manner. Okay, so this shows Miranda's inability to witness human sufferings. All right, because she also begins to suffer along with them. Now, for thou must know now no further. You should know some more of this, Miranda, the reason why I have created the tempest. Miranda, you have often begun to tell me what I am, but stopped, left me to bootless inquisition, concluding, stay not yet. Underline stay not yet. Stay not yet is the word that you have to, is the key word that you have to use in an answer. Okay, so now she tells her father, she states, and then her father that, my dear father, you have often begun to tell me the story of who I am, or about our story, our past life, but you stopped in between. You always stopped in between, saying or concluding that stay not yet. Use this word, stay not yet, meaning, you do not have the desire to know some more than this, because the time is not right for you. It is not the right time for you. So in this way, you never answered my questions, or you always aroused my curiosity and never fulfilled it and never satisfied it. Okay, you never quenched my thirst to understand my past history. All right, and then bootless inquisition refers to a vain curiosity. That means Prospero always in the past left her questions unanswered, because he thought that Miranda was too young to take so much. Okay, the time was not ripe. It was not right for her to know so much. Okay, so whatever he would say that should be according to him at that point in time, it should be enough for her. So Prospero, 3 hours now come, the very minute bids the oak. That means, but now the time has come for you to know about yourself and about me. Okay, so this particular moment, this time when I'm narrating you the story of our past, this time demands you to give all your ears, demands you to open your ears and listen to me carefully. All right, obey and be attentive. Prospero wants Miranda to pay full attention to his story. So, canst thou remember a time before we came unto this cell? Can you remember anything? Okay, before, any of the incidents or anything before we came to this island? I don't think thou canst. I don't think so you can. For then thou wast not out 3 years old, because back then you were not even, you're barely 3 years old. Remember that they came to this island 12 years ago when Miranda was only 3 years old. It's the story of their life. Okay, so Miranda, certainly sir, I can. Sure father, I can remember something. Okay, by what? What are the things that you can recollect? What are the things that you can remember about your past life? So, by any other house or person, do you remember any house or any person? Of anything, the image, tell me that. Is there any other image besides that you can remember? Hath kept with thy remembrance? Tell me anything that you can recollect, okay? That you can reminisce or that you can retrospect. Okay, tell me anything from your memory. Tell me anything that you can dig out from your memory. Miranda, it's far off and rather like a dream than an assurance. That means it is very far off. I do not know whether it is the reality or whether it's a dream, but I vaguely remember. I do remember something, but very remotely. Okay, and that my remembrance warrants. That this nothing warrant means to guarantee. My remembrance means my memory only guarantees me vague things, okay? Only my memory only guarantees me to remember those things which are very, very blurry, okay? Very blurry, and it seems to me as if it is a dream. I do not know whether to believe it for certain. So, had I not 4 or 5 women once that tended me? Did I not have 4 or 5 women who took care of me? So Prospero is surprised that Miranda still remembers, and he says, "Thou hadst and more." Yes, certainly you had those 4 or 5 women, and even more than that, you had even more women to take care of you. Miranda, but how is it that this lives in thy mind? But how is it possible that you have still retained this? But how is it possible that you still remember this? What else? What seest thou see in the dark backward and abysm of time? Underline dark backward. Dark backward is something, it's to retrospect. But here, if we just try to take it literally, it also refers to his dark life, to his dark past. Alright? And abysm of time refers to bottomless depth of time. Okay, so now what else can you remember from the dark and bottomless depth of the past? Is there anything more that you can recollect it from the dark past? And then, if thou rememberest aught ere thou camest here, how thou camest here, thou mayest. That means, if you remember such things, if you remember anything about your past life, who attended you, and the number of women who attended you, then I'm sure you will also remember, or I'm sure you will also be able to recollect how we came or landed on this island. I'm sure you can. Please try it out. Tell me. And then Miranda, but that I do not. I'm so sorry, father. I have no clue about that. I do not know how we came to this island. Prospero, 12 years since, Miranda. 12 years since. Thy father was the Duke of Milan and a prince of power. My dear child Miranda, we came to this island 12 years ago. 12 years ago. Right? He says that your father was the Duke of Milan, was the King of Milan. He was a powerful man. He was a very powerful prince. Alright? So Miranda, sir, are you not my father? Now she's surprised because she did not know. She only knows Prospero as her father. So she turns and she says, sir, are you a king and not my father? Prospero, thy mother was a piece of virtue. That means your mother was an epitome or was a fine specimen of virtue. Virtue means good qualities, okay, moral standard, she was a very fine or an epitome of virtue, and she said, thou wast my daughter. It was your mother who told me that you were my daughter. That means you were born of my union with your mother. Alright? That is what your mother told me. And thy father was Duke of Milan, and his only heir and princess no words issued. That means, and your father, back then, 12 years ago, was the Duke of Milan. Okay? And he had only one heiress. Heiress refers to legitimate child. Okay? And then he had only one, Prospero and his wife had only one heiress, who is Miranda. And who is Miranda? She was the princess. Alright? She should not forget that. Then here, no verse issued means she is not of the lower rank. She is not of the lower birth. I mean, she is someone who belongs to the royal family. She had a noble birth. Okay. And then she tells that is he is sharing the story of of his own life, and then about Miranda too. Now, Miranda, oh the heavens, oh good lords, oh heavens, oh good lords, what foul had we that we came from thence? Or blessed was it we did? Okay, but why did we come here? How did we land on this island? Was it some treachery that brought us here? Or is it a blessing that we are on this island? What is it? Is it because of some wicked, vile deed or evil deed that we are here? Somewhere now she is like, she has started to maybe suspect, right? Or is it good that, is it for our own benefit? Is it for our own goodness that we are here? So Prospero replies, both my girl, it is both treachery and it is both fortune, it is both luck or blessing that has brought to this island. Alright? By foul play, as thou sayest, as you said, it is by foul play, it is by treachery that we are on this island. Alright? We heaved thence, but blessedly holp hither. Holp means helped hither. And if we see it positively, it is blessing that has helped us to be here. It is by it's the fortune that has blessed us to be here. Okay, now how we can understand this is, of course, because Prospero was usurped by Antonio and he was thrown out of Milan, isn't it? He was expelled. So that is why it is a treachery. It is the treachery that has brought us here. But he was meant to die. Okay, he was put out to die. So the second thing is that but somehow he gets saved. So it is luck. Okay, one is luck that has brought us here, that has saved us, you and me. And then the other one is, it is by treachery that we are here. It's a very sad story. All right. So definitely Prospero, he demands our, he demands our love and affection when he shares this story to his daughter. All right. So as we understand our speeches, we must try to delineate the character. Okay, we must try to understand human nature. Okay, Prospero's nature, for example, Miranda's nature. We must constantly bear in mind about this. Okay, the character sketch, we have to develop it on, we have to start developing it from the speeches itself. So Miranda, oh, my heart bleeds. This is also important for reference to the context. My heart bleeds to think of the teen that I have turned you to, which is from thy remembrance. Please you, Father. That means now teen means trouble. She says, it breaks my heart. My heart bleeds out for you. Okay, it bleeds out to think of the pain that you must be going through while you are having to recollect, while you are having to recall your past life, because it does not seem to be very good. All right. So it breaks my heart thinking how painful it must be for you to recall your past life. Okay, but I can't. But my dear Father, I can't remember anything. So please go ahead. Please. Now she becomes more inquisitive. She says, please go ahead. Prospero, my brother, and thy uncle, called Antonio, my brother, who becomes therefore is your uncle. Okay, his name is Antonio. I pray thee, mark me. Now Prospero, as I said, Prospero wants full attention from Miranda, so he says, mark my words, okay, listen to me, that a brother be so perfidious. I cannot imagine my own brother and your uncle, our blood tie, my blood tie can be so dishonest, can be so treacherous. I cannot imagine, I cannot believe. He who next thyself of all the world I loved. That means whom I loved more than anybody else in this world besides you. I cannot believe how he became such a traitor, so treacherous. Okay, that means first Prospero's first love is Miranda, and the second love was Antonio, his dear brother. He considered Antonio very dear. But what happened? He says that I cannot believe how a brother can be so treacherous. He says that, what do you think has Antonio done? So he says, and to him the management of my state means management, Okay, it refers to the law and order and running the administration. Okay, and administration of the state and the affairs of the state. To him puts the management of the state. That means I trusted him and I cast upon him the responsibility, okay, to administer or to govern my state, to govern my kingdom. But why did he do this? No, but why? It looks like Prospero himself invited the trouble. All right, he shouldn't have done this. So, as at that time, through all the seniors, it was the first. That means the kingdom, which at that time was the strongest of all the principalities. My kingdom was the strongest state. Okay, Milan was one of the strongest states of all other states. That is what it says. Okay, it was the first, and Prospero. And who was Prospero? Prospero was the prime duke. Prime duke means the most important duke. He was the number one duke. Okay, being so reputed in dignity, he had earned reputation. Okay, he had earned his dignity in what? He had become very famous for his dignity in liberal arts. Liberal arts refers to fine arts and culture. And there was nobody who was parallel, or there was nobody who was equally competent. Okay, there was nobody who was as equal as Prospero in these studies. Okay, in these studies means liberal arts and other studies. Now, what are those? And that is why he had earned reputation. Okay, for his intelligence, for his interest in other subject matters besides the administration of the state, besides his kingship, besides him being an able ruler. He had gone for something more. And now that is without parallel, those being all my study, the government. Okay, those were the things that I studied. What were the things that he was interested in? He was interested in philosophy. He was interested in logic. He was interested in astrology and many more. Okay, so because he was drawn towards these studies, what did he do? He left the state. Okay, he left the state. He left the administration. Okay, he handed the governance of this administration to his brother, to his very dear brother Antonio. And to my state, and the government I cast upon my brother. He handed it over to his brother. And to my state grew stranger, being transported and wrapped in secret studies. Underline this, wrapped in secret studies. Prospero became very absorbed, he became wrapped, he became very obsessed with his study of magic. Okay, he became very, study refers to his occult studies, refers to his dark arts or magic. Okay, so he says that it was, you have to use this word, it's again the key term, it was his wrapped in secret studies that made him disinterested. He was not really interested in the administration of the state. Okay, so he's wrapped in secret studies distanced him from his own people. Okay, because he became out of touch with the administration, he completely lost touch and with his people, and therefore it allowed, what did he do? This allowed his brother to become ambitious. And he says, thus false uncle, your treacherous uncle. It's like to call him an uncle is also, it also hurts, it pains. Okay, calling him an uncle, it's like he's so treacherous. Okay, dost thou attended me? Are you listening to me? Because it's important that Miranda understands her history. Okay, so he keeps checking Miranda's attention. Okay, remember right from the beginning, I want you to remember that Tempest is also a power play. Okay, it is a power play, so you have to see and understand the play from that perspective also. Please open your mind's eye and allow yourself to perspectives. All right, thank you so much. Today we'll do this much only. Once again, it's a reminder, if there is any problem, please feel free to address. All right, whether in WhatsApp or in the comment section below. Thank you and have a great day ahead, class 11.